Rocklands, South Africa, one of the premier bouldering destinations in the world. In this beautiful semi-desert setting, there is good rock wherever you look. Climbers from all over the world flock here every season. Not exactly the destination you'd expect to find a novice climber who can't climb 6A. And yet, here I am. So, can a newbie have fun in Rocklands? To answer this question, I want to rate the beginner climbs that I did this season. My only goal this season was to send a climb that was in the guidebook. Shall we see whether I reached this lofty target? I will say, I feel like I had a tough introduction to Rocklands with this boulder. There are 5 lines on it, all rated around a 4 or 5, and all of which I could make absolutely zero progress on. I don't know, because there were no feet, it just ended up being very physical or like I couldn't make sense of what I needed to do. After this session, I was a bit dispirited. If we had stopped the season here, I would say that a newbie could not have fun in Rocklands. Not only did it seem super unlikely after this session that I would send anything in the guidebook, it just wasn't fun. It's really not that fun to get shut down on the easiest routes, not being able to do a single move. So this boulder, all of the lines, 0 out of 10. Slight existential despair, but tomorrow is another day. Since I was now convinced that I wouldn't be able to climb anything in the guidebook, I decided to just hop onto this thing, which has no name, I think, but serves as the warm-up boulder for Black Velvet. With a lot of juggy holds, it's fairly easy to get up, and we had some fun trying to find slightly harder lines on it for me. But this is start. My god, this is start. This is the worst thing in bouldering, I think, especially for a newbie with long legs and no arm strength. I spent a long time trying to find any way of making a sit-start work. I'm actually quite proud of my resilience and determination here, but I failed miserably. So that's a skill that's definitely on my to-do list to work on, mostly because I refuse to be defeated by sitting on the ground. So given the sit-start, I would give this climb a 5 out of 10. The moves on the top were slightly too easy to really be fun, and the sit-start was too impossible to be fun, so 5 out of 10. Okay, now things are starting to get good. I will say, Sassies was my favorite sector by far. The warm-up boulder, of which I have no footage of course, will be doable with some time and commitment, but there's lots of fun other stuff around, and all of it was pleasantly climbable. Like this thing, which I would rate a solid 9 out of 10. It had some fun rock, some good moves, but mostly it scores well because it's high on the learn full scale. Compare this to the first Mika and Maya boulder, which was too hard to be fun and for which I could find no plan of action. Boulders like that don't feel learnful, they feel impossible. This climb is the one I would come back for. Fairly powerful moves for a noob. I was quite impressed with myself for being able to move my feet out from the starting moves, since it's quite overhangy for a beginner. The middle move I had to do fairly dynamically because I don't have the power to just lock off and go. And this jug, is a very good jug that I was going for, was very ouchy. So that is the thing about Rocklands rock. It's really good rock, it's really grippy, but that makes it quite ouchy. And jugs are even more ouchy because they're just huge and sharp. So I lost a lot of skin here. I even got my first flapper when I held on too long before falling off. A great achievement. So after I worked out that middle move, to save some skin, Lofty would power spot me onto the hold so I could try the next move. And again, this next move needs some skill that I don't have yet, but it'll go at some point. I tried to put like the 3 parts together to get a high point, but I was too tired. The climb gets a solid 8 out of 10 for fun though. Gotta love a climb that's named Downclimb and the route description says the easiest way up or down the boulder. It's true. It was indeed the easiest way up or down. It took me about 25 minutes to figure it out, but drumroll please, I sent a route in the guidebook. It's a 3, but we're gonna ignore that. It wasn't even ridiculously easy for me, but I enjoyed the moves once we spent some time figuring them out. I was also very scared coming down. It's different hopping down onto one little mat outdoors rather than the safe, soft floor of the gym. So let's give this climb a 7 out of 10. Slightly too easy at the top, slightly too hard at the bottom, but it gets a +1 rating score because I sent it. So I sent something in the guidebook, yay! But my favorite climb of the season was this thing that I made up. Combining 2 5s without the sit start, I got to use my sport climbing skills with a knee bar and everything. I had to spend some time getting used to topping out. As you can see on my little face here, I'm more relieved to be alive than happy that I sent. I give this climb a solid 9 out of 10 for being the perfect balance of challenge for my skill level. And I guess that's my takeaway. As a complete newbie at Rocklands, you have to be humble or the rock will humble you. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn some things and have fun doing it. Next time, I don't think I would try to send anything in the guidebook. Instead, I would just walk around the fantastic, diverse, alluring rocks and try some moves.